And now it's time for
a tiny bite
of knowledge.
Welcome back to Tiny Bites. And today we are going to
vector it up.
Oh, Jody. Jody found the voice modification in the studio today, but we are going to talk about vector files. And what is a vector file?
This is something I think about a lot because there's so many different file types that we work with as precision ag managers. And you see all these different types of files, but it's just like, I know I need to use it, but what exactly does it mean?
And I think a lot of times, especially for farmers that are out there and traditionally fixing things with a 9/16 wrench and not necessarily thinking about computer file formats, what actually is a vector file?
What a vector file is it's a way of storing GIS or geospatial data. And so what you get in a vector file is where that data is located on the world and then some sort of attribute data. So whether that be yield data or elevation data, that is also what's included and has a specific point on the world where that data is located.
Vector files are often points, lines, and polygons. And these data are made up of vertices and segments. A sampling point is just a single vertex, and a line or polygon is a segment with vertices attached to it. So examples of vector files are boundaries, sampling points, exported prescription files as shape files, raw yield data, those kinds of things.
It's so funny to me how some of these terms have to be so complicated. So a vertices, like you think of a vertex, and that's like a point where two lines meet. And that's all that is. A vertice or a vertex is a point.
But I sounded really smart saying vertice.
Yes. Yeah. I completely agree. Remember, like it's not that complicated. A vertex is a point, and then the lines in between points, those are segments. These are the bread and butter of what makes up a vector file. And the polygon, right? You need 3 segments. A polygon is a closed area. So you can have a triangle as a minimum, but if you just have 2 lines, you don't have a closed area. So that's what that means is like when you've got vertices and segments, you can make points, lines, and polygons.
Woohoo! Yay! So some examples of vector file formats commonly include KMLs, which you open in Google Earth, and very commonly shapefile formats. We see those all the time as boundaries, as soil sampling points, as prescriptions going out to different controllers, as raw yield data. And if you're in ADMS, you will find the vector file section under drawings and map on the right-hand side of the software. So all of your vector files are located under drawings and map in ADMS.
What's unique about vector files is that they have coordinate data that's infinite. What does it mean to have coordinate data that's infinite? Basically, what that means, if you ever used any sort of GIS software like ADMS, and like say you've got a boundary around a field, and if you keep zooming in on that line that goes around the boundary, you'll notice that that line is staying the same size. So even though like you're getting down to the scale of nanometers, that line is still the same small width. And that comes down to the fact that the vector file has an infinite coordinate system. And so it has a very precise location. This is the same concept for like if anybody works in like graphic design or you've ever had like a logo that you sent off to a printer to get put onto a sweatshirt or like a sign, they might ask for a vector file. And the reason that they want that is that they can increase the size of that or decrease the size of it. How that file looks stays the same. And it doesn't matter how zoomed in or how far out you get, it still preserves like how it looks because of that infinite coordinate system.
I feel like I have learned a lot about vectors today.
I agree. I think we've really
vectored it up today.
Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time
for a tiny bite
of knowledge
from GK Technology,
where we have a map
and an app
for that.
Let the geeks at GK Technology help you with your agricultural data. Their agronomists know agriculture. When it comes to creating soils and zone maps to maximize yields in your fields, you can trust the people with decades of experience in site-specific agriculture. Everyone at GK Technology has a background in agriculture. so they know what makes a farm run and they speak your language. The geeks at GK Technology have a map and an app for that.